Hello, and welcome. Ever since the first appearance of the Quebec separatist movement in and around 1965, there has been at least a small portion of francophones pushing for the autonomy of Quebec from Canada. Today, we're going to take a look into the history of this complex issue. Come with me. Let's take a look. The failure of the Meech Lake Accord and the Charlottetown Accord left considerable uncertainty about the constitutional future of Canada. The first sign was a dramatic change in the political landscape of the House of Commons following the 1993 election. The Progressive Conservative Party, associated with former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, and the failed accords was virtually wiped out, while the Federalist Liberals under Jean Chrétien won a majority. The opposition was fractured along the regional lines between the Western-based Reform Party of Canada and the avowedly separatist Bloc Québécois, which formed the official opposition.
The referendum of 1995 was the second referendum that Quebec has encountered. This referendum was recommended by Jacques Parizeau from the Parti Québécois. It was created to ask voters in Quebec whether or not they should become an independent state. The question that they asked was,
acceptez-vous que le Québec devienne souverain après avoir offert formellement au Canada un nouveau partenariat économique et politique, dans le cadre du projet de loi sur l'avenir du Québec et de l'entente signée le 12 juin 1995?
The English Canadians and the Quebecois had contradicting viewpoints on this referendum. English Canadians were wary of the never-ending Quebec question of whether or not they would separate from Canada. On October 27, 1995, thousands of people swarmed downtown Montreal to avert a yes victory of the referendum. Many English Canadians felt like this would definitely change Quebecois' votes about the referendum. An Aboriginal group that was being severely affected by the referendum was the Cree. The Cree's land was more than half of Quebec. They also had an exceptional treaty with the Canadian government, and they didn't want to break that tie. If Quebec did separate from Canada, would the Cree go with the Quebec or would they stay with Canada? Because of this controversy, the Cree had their own referendum. The question that they asked was, do you consent as a people that the government of Quebec separate the James Bay Crees and the Cree Traditional Territory from Canada in the event of a yes vote in the Quebec referendum?
The result of the 1995 referendum was that it failed to pass, barely. The Federalists won with a 50.6% of the votes, while the no side had 49.4%. This was a difference of 54,288 votes. Jacques Parizeau made a famously racist speech implying that the referendum failed because of the votes of companies and non-white Quebecers. It's true that we were beaten, but by what? Money and ethnic votes. The day after this speech, Parizeau resigned as premier and Lucien Bouchard gained the position. Separation support disappeared quickly after. The 1995 referendum was a wake-up call for English Canadians who realized for the first time that the breakup of Canada was in fact possible. Ottawa made plans to ensure that Quebec would prefer to remaining with Canada in the future. In the months following the referendum, the Chrétien government passed two resolutions. The first recognized Quebec as a distinct society within Canada, and the second granted veto rights to Quebec, Ontario, the Prairie Provinces, and the Atlantic Provinces on certain issues. The Supreme Court of Canada ruled that Quebec does not have the right to secede from Canada. The result of the Cree vote to leave Quebec with their land, if the separatist movement occurred, passed by 96.3% out of the 77% of Cree who cast a ballot.
Oh, I didn't see you there. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson on the history of the French 1995 referendum. And until next time, have a nice day. Toodaloo.